I know you guys missed me last week, especially John. I know you're glad to be back. Spend a little quality time on a Wednesday afternoon. But I appreciate you guys coming. Um, Last Wednesday we had a team meeting, and after we talked a little bit about our previous game, I asked the question to our football team, how many of you guys know something about Duquesne University or Duquesne football? And I had a lot of blank looks, and I had a handful of guys say they went to the playoffs. Um, Duquesne University is in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, downtown, about 10,000 students. It's a private Catholic school, very good academic institution that has a pretty good tradition in everything they do. When you look at them from a football perspective, 3 of the last 5 years they've won the NEC, the Northeast Conference, which is a Division I FCS conference, which gets an automatic bid to the playoffs. They shared it 2 of the 3 years. Last year, they made their first appearance in the FCS playoffs, where they got beaten a shootout to William and Mary. I think the score was 52-49 in the first round of the playoffs. They're a very good football program. They're very well coached. They play extremely well at home. They're 21-2 under the current head coach, who's been there approximately 12 years at home against non-conference opponents. When you look at them from a personnel standpoint, they're obviously led by their senior quarterback on offense. Guy's played a lot of football for him. He's a good player. He's not necessarily a runner guy. He's more of a pocket passer. Run the system. They do a good job of getting the ball out to some extremely talented wideouts. One's a 5th-year transfer. The other's a big physical wideout. And then you have a freshman running back who comes in last week as the national stats FCS freshman of the week. So offensively, they're led by their quarterback, but they're really balanced with what they do with their running back and their receivers. Defensively, they got an all-everything watch list outside linebacker. That's kind of the bell cow for them on defense. Defensively, 4 transfers, 3 from Penn State, 1 from Buffalo starting, another backup from Eastern Michigan. So they're an extremely talented football team that's a playoff team. That's going to present an awful big challenge for us to go on the road and play a team that went to the playoffs last year, that's picked to win their league again this year, picked to go to the playoffs again this year, had all those accolades, and they're sitting 2-1 with 2 big wins at home and a tough loss on the road. So it's going to be a great challenge for our football program as we go on the road to play them, I think for a myriad of reasons. 1, we're on the road. We haven't won since September 3rd, 2015. 2, we got a chance to go measure up against a playoff team. We came into this thing, the expectation is to compete for championships. Well, I think we got a great opportunity to go on the road and play a team that's a playoff team and find out a little bit where we are. You know, it's been asked before about measuring sticks, and the answer I gave you was we're the measuring stick because we're trying to compete for championships. I think this is a measuring stick for us. No one game will be the end-all, be-all for our football program right now, but to go on the road and play a playoff team, that's the goal of ours. We want to be a playoff team. That's what we're trying to accomplish. So I do think to some degree it is a measuring stick game a little bit for us. And again, no one game will be the end-all, be-all as we build this thing out. But it's a great opportunity, a great challenge for our football team and our football program. And I think our kids understand it and recognize it. And really our mindset has been, after that meeting, I've not talked a lot about Duquesne. What I've talked about is Kennesaw State. We're our own worst enemy. If we can learn not to beat ourselves, we'll have a chance to go compete in every game. We got to do a great job of not beating ourselves, and that starts in practice. If you practice it the right way, you got a chance to do it on Saturday. So that's really been what we've emphasized as we practiced Thursday and Friday of last week. Monday was a really, really good practice. Tuesday we lost focus at times. I think just to be honest, we got a little hot and we got a little tired and we lost focus. We got to come back today with a really good practice. Same tomorrow, and that'll finish our on the field as far as getting ready to go, and then we'll fly up to Pittsburgh. Obviously, again, it's the first flight for our football team. We got a handful of guys who've never flown before. So again, we got to eliminate all the circumstance and all the distractions and all the things that go with it. And remember that we're on a business trip. We're on a business trip, and we're going to take care of business. So that kind of sums up where we are, kind of what we've been doing. I'll open the floor for questions. I haven't seen the depth chart, but of the starters that were out, all but Trey are back. We lost a couple special teams guys. Mason Fazekas, who was starting on a couple special teams, tore his ACL on Monday. He'll be out for the season. And then Justin Elam's out. He was a special teams guy. He'll be back. He's just out for this game. But those guys that were starting on O and D, with the exception of Trey, should be back for Saturday. Well, don't misunderstand me. I'm completely worried about Duquesne. Completely, 100%. But until we take care of ourselves, that won't even matter. So I want to make sure I'm clear on how I'm communicating on where we are. I by no means, we got our hands full. So, but I think in order to even go compete, we got to take care of ourselves first. At the end of the day, I think the mission of the trip is to go win the ball game. Plain and simple. We got to go win the game and move forward. And our program, we want to move forward in this program. Again, it's not the end-all, be-all, but I think it would be a big step in making progress to where we want to go on the road and beat a team that's, again, picked to win their league, went to the playoffs last year, and all the other accolades and stuff that goes with it. But it's a chance for us to go and really see if we can make some improvement. The first two games, I don't know really where we are. We had a really tough loss in the first game in double overtime. We came back and played with a lot more focus against an inferior opponent in the second game, and then we had an off week. So I don't know exactly where we are, but I think we're about to find out. And I think that's kind of where we are right now. We got a chance to go find out a little bit of where we are, John. But I think if you want an objective, it's bottom line. We want to go win the game. We want to go win the game because that's, at the end of the day, that's what it's about. And, it's a great opportunity. But outside of that, I think all the things we talk about kind of go with it. But that's it, and continue to prove as a program, And like I said, it's not the end-all, be-all. One game will not be one way or the other for us. But, objective is to get better, not beat ourselves. And when we do that, we give ourselves a chance to win. That's the ultimate thing. We'll have a chance to win a game if we do those things. Man, if they don't understand what's going on right now, we got problems. It's going to be a long year. And I don't mean that in any, but we hadn't done anything. We got beaten double overtime, and we beat Point. It's great. If we start, we ain't done anything. We got so much out there to do, and we got to take it one day at a time and just focus on that day. But I don't sense that at all with our football team, Art, at all. I think they understand. What we got to do and how we got to do it. I think it's a fight some days, just to be honest with you. And I think a little bit of that is youth, but it is what it is, and we got to fight through it, and we got to keep get better. And but I think they understand where we are. I think they understand where we are and where we're going and what we need to get accomplished. I think they get that. I'm pretty 100% sure on that. They understand that. Well, I think sometimes it's just the way the thing goes. I truly believe if you're doing your job with championship effort and just 100 miles an hour, those kind of things happen. You know what I mean? Because you look at a lot of those terms. You look at even last year early on, how many guys were around the ball when those things happened. So I think it's really about that. I'm sure there's some moments in the first two games where, if something would have happened, you could. But you go play, doing your job with championship effort, you create a lot of those things. You create those moments where when you can take advantage of an opportunity. I think the other thing is when you say do your job, is that great focus. So when that moment is there, that you're able to seize the moment and not flinch. And when you're locked and loaded on what you're doing, you have a chance to seize those moments. We've struggled with that the first two games. We only played two games, but that's a big part of it. We got to knock some loose, or find a way to get some, and then obviously we can't turn it over on the flip side. So I think that's an every week deal, without a doubt. Yeah, I mean, the kid's done a great job. They got 189 yards last week. But they you know, they're going to spread it out and they're going to get it to their wideouts, but they're going to run the football as well. So they do a nice job running the ball. Predominantly a one-back scheme, but they do a nice job. You know, they'll spread you out and balance you. And a lot of football today is numbers games, you know, and what they try to do. But they're balanced enough. The quarterback's got a really good arm, so they can do what they want to, running it or throwing it. So they do a nice job. I mean, they're well coached. They're a good football team. I mean, they do a good job. You know, I mean, they're balanced on offense. I think they're you know, they fly around on defense really, really well. You know, when they're locked and loaded, they fly around and make plays, create a little havoc. So.